So you bought in the EV sector and it's on fire. Anyways, what's up everyone? My name is Vide. So the EV sector has been booming and for the past week it's been on fire. But what does this mean for us the investors, and is this hype coming to an end? Well, in this video we'll be talking about the hype and the one stock you should be watching from now until January 2021 and so on. So saying that, let's get into it. So first, in order to understand this hype, we have to know what started this hype in the first place. Well, it's actually very simple. With Biden winning, companies like Tesla and NIO stock prices started going bonkers and media coverage of the EV sector started skyrocketing. This influenced a lot. We began seeing major and massive enthusiasm in the sector of electric vehicles, with many banks forced to go ahead and raise their price targets on many EV companies, making the stock prices across the entire sector of EV inflated higher than anyone had expected and anyone had predicted a few weeks back. We saw massive runs in companies like NIO, NIKOLA, Tesla, Workhorse, and even companies that indirectly have products affecting EV. For example, companies like isSBE, which by the way is merging with Chargepoint December 15th, and a company called Blink Charging, which is a separate entity which has nothing to do with isSBE, but it's still a charging company. And these are the leaders in the EV charging sector, with Chargepoint having nearly 70% of market share in the EV charging segment at the moment. But you might be asking, what, Naveed? What do I buy? And well, before I tell you, I will say this. While there are many EV companies and there will be winners and losers and there will be those that will cease to exist, we have to understand every hype comes to an end sooner or later. But in this case, I don't really think it's over yet. Usually, historically, we do see a sell-off before the holidays as many people want to go ahead and sell their stock so they can go out and shop. We just happen to have that hype get caught up during the holiday season. So we should expect a nice rebound going into the following week. So this hype is, in my opinion, far from over. But I refuse to believe this hype will continue for too long. We saw this same thing during the MJ hype and the MJ bubble during 2018 and in 2019. And it popped, and it really popped. But let me give you the stock you should be watching carefully, which has a lot of potential to make us, the investors, a lot of money. And before I tell you this one stock, I want you to go down below and hit the like button right now.
Enough talk.
And well, the company that you should be watching right now is called isSBE, ticker symbol SBE. It is the company that is merging with Chargepoint, which will own 10% of Chargepoint itself. Yes, the company that makes the charging stations for most of the EV sector right now. And well, I'll tell you why I put this on the list. If you look at the simple ideology, during the gold rush, who made the most money? Yes, the people, the company that produced the pickaxes and the shovels, not the gold miners themselves, or some of them. Even though there might be winners and losers in the EV market, there will always be a EV market where the demand for charging will keep growing as more and more people transition into green energy and efficient cars. So why not pick the winners, right? Let's look at the one thing EV cars were always going to need no matter how big the market gets, and yes, that is charging. First, we have to understand what SBE is. SBE itself is an acquisitions company in the green energy sector. But we won't be looking at SBE, but Chargepoint, which is our golden egg. Chargepoint, if you guys don't know, controls 70% of the EV electric charging market right now, and the share price at the time of recording is about $35.11, which many people are saying is very high, which I understand because about 3 weeks ago, the stock price was only about, yes, $16. But we also have to understand the price right now is pre-reverse merger. Also, by the way, if you guys don't know what a reverse merger is, it's a very creative way of taking a company public rather than going through a traditional IPO. And if you guys don't know what IPO is, IPO means initial public offering. So yes, Chargepoint will be public. Usually any company going through a reverse merger does really good before the merger happens and weeks after it happens. But that's besides the point. Not only is the hype around Chargepoint, but also the fact that it owns such a large market share in the EV charging segment. Chargepoint already has the EV sector locked in. They have the products and the demand, and they have the infrastructure to succeed. And I will explain. For example, Chargepoint owns 70% of the market share and is partnered with some of the most powerful corporations in the country and overseas. The growth rate they presented in the investor presentation is very conservative and very healthy growth rate. They have really good projections saying they can generate close to double-digit revenue, increasing every year, and close to $2 billion by the time 2026 hits. And that is just in revenue itself, $2 billion. But most of their success also relies heavily on how fast and how well the EV market pushes in the next couple of years, which, by the way, the EV sector will continue to grow drastically, and Chargepoint already owns close to 70% market share, and the infrastructure needed to succeed. So it's a no-brainer that this stock can be and really could be a long-term hold. And saying that, this is a company you should be watching very closely. If you want to view the investor presentation in detail, the one that I just showed, it will be linked down below. While everyone is chasing gold, how about we look at something that not many people are looking at and not many investors are really focusing on, and that is the charging that the EV cars will need when the EV sector starts booming even more. And well, my name is David. I hope you guys found this video very useful and very helpful. If you did, make sure you go ahead and click the like button. It actually helps me a lot. And make sure you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I post videos like this every single week about business, finance, and just stocks in general. If you don't follow me already, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I post weekly watch lists on my stories, and I will be making a Discord server soon for all the investors that have requested me in my DMs asking to go ahead and be in a group chat where a lot of people talk about stocks. And I will be making that. I'll be putting it on my stories and I'll be putting it on my YouTube. And well, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.
I'm on the beat, so you know I'm going with that.